Okay, so this is another problem on interval of increase or decrease, but based on graph, and we have a quartic function in here. And so when you're looking for interval of increase, they're really are actually saying what from what values of x to what values of x is your graph increasing or decreasing. So let's first understand the increase and decrease part. Okay, so it's always from left to right. So if I start in here and I go to right, from left to right, I'm going up there. So that means I am increasing, right? From left to right, I'm going up. Even if I have an arrow that points down there, okay, it looks like it's going down, but really you have to think that you have to start your pen from the left side going to the right side. So that's an increasing part. Now, if I start here and then I go down there, even though my direction was going down, this is still increasing because, again, even if I was going down from right, that was from right to left. I need to start from left to right. I'm going to start here and going there. That's still increasing. In the same manner, if I'm going this way, this is again decreasing. This is also decreasing because from left to right, I am somehow going down. Okay. All right. So now that we have clarified that, okay, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, so now that we have clarified that, let's find the areas that are increasing and decreasing. Okay, so first things first, we need to find out. Look at the endpoints. The endpoints have arrows. They're not specific endpoints. So therefore, if you have arrows, you need to find the component. So this arrow right here is somewhat going to the left and somewhat going up, right? So the going to the left, that means it's going to the left indefinitely towards negative infinity, and it goes up positive infinity. And also on the other end, it is going right. Like the direction here is somewhat going right, so means positive infinity, and somewhat going up positive infinity. Those are your end behavior. Okay. But which one do we really care about? We really just want the x values again. So that just the x values, I'm gonna circle them later on. Okay, so so that's the first checkpoint, the endpoints. Okay, next is the local minimums, and the local maximums. Okay, all right. And why do we need them? We need them because they are the turning point. So that means from here to here, see, it's going down all the way there. It stops going down at that point. This is a local minimum. And let's find the coordinates of that point. That's -2 comma -3. And then from this is a minimum, this is also a minimum. So that's going to be 2 comma -3. And this one right here is a maximum, and that is 0 comma 1. Okay, now since you're just looking, so this is the important part, since you're just looking for interval, you really just care about the x's. Okay, so the x component. So let's underline all the x component. This one right here, that one right there, this one, this, and that. Those are your x component. Okay, now let's label the ones that are decreasing. Well, from this point to that point, that's obviously going down from left to right, so that is decreasing. Once you are at the lowest point, you go to the next to the maximum, then you are increasing. And this one right here is decreasing again, and this is increasing again. Okay, so the next point is we will list all the decreasing intervals. Okay. Okay, so what are the x components? So this part right here, you have that x to that x. So you have negative infinity to -2. Okay, and I'm gonna put that in parentheses. Okay, so that means from your first interval of decrease is negative infinity to -2, but there is another decreasing area, and that is from here to here, right? So that is, what are the x's? Well, that's from 0 to 2. Okay, well, since you have two intervals, and then you can put a union sign in there. Okay, so that is your decreasing part. Now, sometimes teachers might be very specific about is 2 or 0 inclusive or not. So at this point, I'm just assuming that everything is open parentheses on both ends of the interval. All right, which ones are increasing? Okay, so the areas that are increasing is from here to here. And what's the x values there? The x intervals you have from -2 to 0. Okay, and then but there's another increasing part from +2 to positive infinity, and both of them will be enclosed in parentheses, and then you just add a u. All right, so that is, you have unions here because you have multiple increasing and decreasing parts. So as you can imagine, if you have a graph that looks like this is increasing, decreasing, increasing. So therefore you will have a union on your increasing, but you will only have one interval for your decreasing. If you have a graph that looks like this, then you will have so many that you have to put a union on. All right, so if you have any questions, please let me know, just or you can just send a message in down below.